Hey everyone, this is Waldorf,
This is Statler.
and now I have Battle Report 3. I just see these low numbers and it's amazing. Not 300, 3.
Battle Report 3, yes.
Yes. Don't you want to say
3?
instead of like 316, you're going to
Yes.
say 3.
3.
Orcs and Goblins versus the Undead. Yep.
And you played at the quarantine zone in Huzzah.
Which I still love those guys for staying open.
Yeah.
And restricting everything, making you wear masks, But having a place to play is still great.
Yeah, I still only play in the bunker.
You still haven't played a game there?
No.
Okay, whatever. I don't know why you've been there to watch games.
Yeah.
I think you watched most of this game.
I have my bunker.
Okay, whatever. All right, moving on. This is going to be Orcs versus, like we said, Orcs versus Undead. I brought 2 lists and asked my opponent, look, I want to see what a dragon does, but if you don't want to face it, fine. I can run my other list. It's like, no, go ahead. So I ran a dragon list.
Okay, and this is the new Undead book just came out. So
Correct, and he's going to play the
You're
Undead.
basically play testing it.
Play testing both sides, both things basically. So I had a level 3 wizard, level 2 goblin, orc captain. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for a minute. I was like, I keep forgetting the difference. The orc captain and champion. Anyway. 2 units of warriors, 1 of 19, 1 of 20. 19 spearmen, 19 archers, and you ask why 19? Because I ran out of points. I would have been smarter to take a spearman out or a archer out and add a 1 or 2 to the other one, but anyway, whatever. I did.
So did you have a captain or did you have a champion?
I did have a captain.
Okay.
He was the guy with command
with
1.
Extra command. Okay.
I think a command guy is critical in this army, if not 2 of them.
You're initiating on 6s. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Unit of 5 wolf riders, a heavy catapult, and a dragon. Non-flying dragon, by the way.
Okay.
Simply because it's another 100 points. It's, I think, 700 points.
Yeah.
And this is a 2,500 point list. He had a Revenant Prince.
It's not a very undead looking.
It's not. I forgot to change the font. So
it's lacking.
2 Revenant Champions on horses. 3 level 2 Necromancers with a Lich upgrade. 2 had the Revive to bring back Revenants. 2, and then he had a Necromancer level 1. 2 of them have Reanimate to bring back skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
1 had a Fireball, 1 had Dispel, and I don't recall what the other one had as a second spell.
Okay.
He had 2 units of 20 Skeletal Warriors, 1 of 19. 20 Ghouls, 2 units of 4 Revenant Cav, which have a Revenant Champion in that unit, and 2 Wraiths.
Oh, we had 2 Wraiths. I only saw the 1.
The Dragon ate 1 early.
Oh, okay.
So
I guess all of his points are in all those Necromancers.
The points are in the Necromancer. The Revenant Cav are expensive too. I think they're 70 points a pop.
Yeah, he did go with 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 560 right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what he had. Moving on. What do we got? So, there's the setup. We decided to play we actually threw a 9th Age scenario in where it was at the end of the game, try to control these 2 spots on the board. The 2 tokens you see laid out there, the poker chips. Then, of course, we decided we were going to do this. We laid it out there and we did this. We didn't talk about what it was going to do for the end of the game.
Okay.
What the result of capturing these was going to be.
Or who counted.
Or what counted or whatever. Because anyway. So there was a lot of discussion missing at the beginning of this game. So you can see there's the board we set up, though. It's, starting on the left. And the top is the hill. Going across is water and a forest on the right. A field and a fence down here on the bottom right, and a building on the left. And that's where we set up. I've already taken my...
How did you rate the terrain features?
Difficult. The 3 over on the right are all difficult.
Okay.
The house, of course, is impassable.
So the field, the woods, and the water are difficult.
All difficult terrain.
Okay, and the hill?
Just a hill.
Just slopey. Okay.
Slopey hill, not difficult or anything.
Okay.
And we decided that if you're on the hill at all, you get the elevated bonus. If you're not on the hill, you don't. We've got to figure out what we want to do kind of as a permanent. If you're closer to the center, are you more elevated? Do you get the elevated? You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Oh, I treat that as the whatever's fighting has to be higher.
Right, but where he is right now.
I mean, elevate doesn't matter till you're in close combat, right?
No, it matters for shooting as well.
Oh, for spotting.
You get a +1. No, even you get a +1
Yeah.
shooting bonus from being on a hill. Add a unit down a hill.
Yeah.
Hill. So anyway, but just something we talk about before the game or whatever, how that elevated works. Because if you've got your entire unit on the hill and the other guy gets his first rank on the hill, are you elevated or not?
Yeah, I think
you get the bonus.
So. Yeah, to me, if you're in close combat, if the front rank is clearly higher than the other guy's front rank, then he's elevated.
Okay. Anyway,
to me, that's the easy.
Yeah. It's just something else we didn't talk about. So
yeah, and this game you definitely have to talk about. That's why I was asking how you did the terrain, because
but
it's one of the things you have to do is you have to decide what the terrain is actually going to do.
Right. And so you see,
I'm sorry, did you just set up the terrain, or did you guys go back and forth and use up their terrain?
We kind of tossed it out there.
Okay.
I was going to put 6 pieces out there and just random scatter them. So I just grabbed 6 pieces of terrain on my box, set them on the table, and then while I was doing some other stuff, guys set them up.
Okay.
And it's fine. And then we rolled for sides and moved forward.
Okay.
Again, I know what I think the dragon's going to do, so I intentionally kind of set him up on the right, just off to the side, so he wouldn't dominate the battlefield in the center.
Oh, so that was a conscious decision on your part.
It was when I set him up.
Okay.
Then he's responded by putting stuff over there and whatever.
Okay. So your archers are behind the fence.
So my archers are in the field. And they've moved up to get behind the fence.
Then you have some spearmen and some mages behind them.
That's the warriors with mages, spearmen on the left of those 2 units sitting right there. Over on the far left is on the other side of the house is the other warrior unit, and then a unit of the
And where's
wolf
your
riders.
captain?
Captain's in the unit on the right, so he's within 6 inches. The center unit here in the middle of the board.
The warriors that's in front of the
mages.
The mages. Okay.
So right now he's giving command to the 2 mages and the 2 other blocks in addition to his.
Right.
Because you spread your command out so you get the extra die roll for activation within 6 of the unit, not the character.
Yeah.
And so he's positioned there.
Okay.
And the dragon off to the right. And the dragon's activation is 3.
Yeah.
And he's a monster, so he doesn't benefit from command anyway.
Right.
Which is an important safety
so
tip.
He's got his 2 revenants both on the flank with some zombies in the middle.
So his revenants on the far left. Sorry, his revenant cav are on the far right. That's those 2 units.
Yeah.
Barely poking his head up over the trees is a wraith.
Okay.
And then there's a unit of ghouls over there on the right.
Okay, ghouls. Okay.
3 units of skeletons in the center with 4 necromancers behind it. His prince is in the unit, in the middle unit of these 3. There's a guy in the middle unit.
Okay.
And this other wraith is on the far left.
Okay.
The guys in the back are 4 guys. Now, one thing didn't come up in this game. We didn't discuss it in this game, but the fireball is a shooting attack. So I assume it follows the same targeting restrictions as anything else. But I don't know. You have to shoot at the closest unit, right?
If it's a shooting attack, then yeah.
Correct. That's what I came up later, some other time. Anyway, so that's that.
You also have to pay attention to your mage special rules, because some of them do have that, what do you call it, where you can shoot at whoever the hell you want.
Aimed fire. Yeah. I haven't seen any that do, unless the elves do.
Yeah, I think it's all with the elves. Maybe
the elves have it. All the mages have fire over, so you can do what we're doing, standing behind you.
Stay within 3 inches and shoot over. Yeah, I know they have that.
But anyway, so there we got that. Just some bookkeeping stuff.
So you'd already done what? That was already turn 1, or what's
It's
going on?
already turned 1, and I've already done my movement and gone forward when I was taking
Okay.
this picture.
So the one thing about this game is you don't.
Actually, there's the final.
It's not what you see. It's not I move, you move. It's not I go, you go. It's I move, you move, I move,
Right.
you move until we're all done.
Going back and forth with
Yeah.
each other. Yes.
Nice doing those little dice marking or
And
what
I've
is
used
activated.
correct. I need to
Okay.
get little beads to mark my activations, but and you can see he's using them.
Mm-hmm.
The ghouls here in the woods have got a little marker by them, and
Mm-hmm.
one of his necromancers, and the guy on the right
Yeah.
on the left. The 2 on my dragon, by the way, is the fleet feet spell, because the dragon's only movement 6.
Only.
Well, 6 ain't that great, but 6 is like average in the game as far as foot guys go. But I boosted him to 8, and so now he's got a decent movement.
Humans are 5s.
What's that?
I think humans are 5s.
Nah, they're 6. They're like orcs. They're 6 unless you go with the heavier guys, and then those are 5s. Because I've got the warriors are 5s. My archers and spearmen are both 6s. But they don't have it looks like what they've done is your movement is 6 unless you have heavy armor.
Yeah.
And if you have the better armor, your movement goes down to 5 in general. Now dwarves are
slower again.
Not much though. Anyway, whatever. So there we go. Just moving around, advancing. We're going back and forth. Now at this point, I've pretty much moved everything. It looks like.
You guys just moving up towards each other. Nothing much was happening.
Not much. I've got a catapult. He's got shooting. I've got bows, but most of his guys take half damage from bows.
The skeletons do, yeah.
Skeletons.
And so cavalry are pretty hard to wound. So
correct. Now turn 2, you can see he's moving up,
you're moving up.
Anyway, keep going. Turn 2, you can see the dragon coming forward. The Revenant Knights on the far right are sweeping around, circling around him. Ghouls are coming up in the center. Actually, I haven't moved anything yet. This is still the beginning of the turn. So
So you moved in the woods and you said they look tasty.
So the dragon decides to go see what ghouls taste like. So he flies into the woods and attacks them.
Tastes like chicken.
I've rolled really well. Remember, the dragon is attack 8, strength 8, and then on top of that, he gets 2 for charging. So he's a base 10 going in. And I rolled 2 10s and an 8. So those are 3 wounds apiece.
And the red die is what the champion die.
The red die is the champion die.
Basically doubles the wounds.
It's only 2.
Yeah.
And the 6 is, I think, 2 as well. So it was really bad. Between that and the Undead rule, where he crumbles, basically, he
looks like
he ran on.
Somehow snuck a wound on you.
I got 17.
Yeah.
We originally thought he got a wound on me because we thought 10s always wound.
Oh, okay.
That's you'll see that.
That's what that conversation
was. The wound
was.
disappears a little bit later.
Right.
And
they still.
And that's actually my activation.
And the Undead do have the Crumble Rule.
They do. For every 2 points they lose a combat by. Sorry, they automatically pass their morale, but for every 2 points they would have as a minus to their morale, they lose 1 extra guy.
Right.
So the dragon went in and killed 17.
Okay.
Now I rolled really well, but 12 would not have been unreasonable for what he can do. Anyway, so they're here. You can see my unit. I think the unit behind on the other side of the building from me has moved up. At this point, not much else.
And his center unit's moved up also.
Now my bows fire and do pretty much nothing. Because they're shooting at Revenant Cav, I think. I think that might be the closest unit. Even if they're within range.
Sweeping the flank.
So his turn, the Revenant Cav move over, march around, circling around me.
You zap some of his cavalry.
Had I?
Yeah. Only 3 guys left.
I used my spell that I like.
Okay.
Yeah, I killed 2 of them with the poison cloud, which is another thing. They're immune to poison attacks, but the poison cloud
is not.
We're not sure. Anyway.
If it doesn't say it's poison, then you look like you've landed a catapult or something.
And I landed a catapult on some guys on the hill and killed some guys there. And one rule we did not use in this game, which I just completely missed, is the artillery always uses the champion die. Not a huge deal, but probably an extra wound missed here and there. Today you can see I've moved most of my guys. You can see the warriors on the right have got the fleet feet spell on them too, with that big number 2 on them.
Okay, and you've pulled up, and he's brought his other skeleton unit up.
Yep.
And he's got a little cabal in the back.
Coming up to form a line. His wraith came around the corner. Not sure how he got a wound on him, but that can't be a wound. That's got to be a marker for something else. He's got something else going on him. Nothing's touched him at this point, so he shouldn't have a wound.
Unless you shot at him.
No, I have nothing that can shoot over that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless I try to anyway. So over here you can see he's raised one of his Revenant Cav, and he's up to 4 again.
Yep.
On the unit on the left. So at this point, turn 3 comes up, and that's where it starts. At this point, we kind of looked up the rules and noticed that single models units of 1, can pivot based on anyone's movement. So that's where something I didn't notice at first and found out later.
Right.
So turn 1, he came forward with his Wraith and actually wiped out my Wolf Riders, I believe. No. He came out with the Wraith and actually failed to wound me. I rolled back with 2 dice, didn't wound him, and we just bounced an inch apart each.
The Wraith are basically like an ethereal rule. They're much harder to hit.
Yeah, if you don't have a magic weapon, it requires you can only get 2 dice.
You only get 2 dice.
Correct.
Instead of the usual 5.
Yeah, but he can't remove your champion die, turns out. Whether that's
you're on the hill.
important to you or not.
Did you charge or just on the hill?
Up top? Yeah. I just moved up on the hill.
Okay.
And dared him to charge me, because I think my orcs are better than his skeletons. Was my thinking there. Okay. So, but because he moved during his turn, the dragon can pivot.
Right.
So the dragon pivot to face the 5 knights.
I think that's argumentative, but
anyway. So the dragon pivots to face the 5 knights, and on my turn, they charged into the flank of them.
Right.
Combat ensues. The dragon kills all 5. And sits there.
Yeah, I still really believe it means only on your own turn.
Okay. That you can pivot your model.
Yeah.
It's not incredibly clear. It can be argued both ways, I guess.
It's not clearly written, but
the one thing it does say during any unit's activation.
Yeah.
So I and the guy I was playing at this point interpreted it as being kind of there to be a reaction to your opponent, but maybe you were saying you don't think that's quite the case.
Because it goes against everything else in the rules. That's the only reason.
Yeah, like all rules making sense is something that happens in this world.
Understand, but as I think if you follow from activation through the movement as additive.
So, and of course, the mistake I made I pivoted to face the wrong unit and charged the wrong unit. That unit over on the right wasn't going to do anything this turn, whereas this one was going to slam into the side of this unit.
And they did.
I definitely picked the wrong one for that. He won the combat, killed a bunch of guys. You can see he killed 6 guys down there, dead guys down there on the bottom, and pushed me back and disordered me as well.
And you couldn't go any farther because the next unit couldn't fall back because the building was in the way. And
correct. Yeah. So he pushed me back as far as he could. And I'm not sure why they checked. I think I checked at the wrong point. You're not supposed to check for adjoining units unless you actually get destroyed, right?
So destroyed or disordered, now I forgot.
I don't think if you get disordered, it affects units around you. I think you have to get destroyed. Anyway, but I rolled for morale on these 2 units back here, the mage and the unit of archers, and both failed a morale check and became disordered. Again, I don't think, now that I'm looking at that, I don't think that should have happened, but something I need to look up. If you know, post it. this is just my third game of this, so mistakes were made. He charged into the flank of me with his Wraith, knowing I was going to be down to only 2 dice. But one of those is the champion die, and I rolled well and
So you snacked him.
smacked his Wraith down. So yeah, thing with the drag, I mean, with the strength of 8, with an 8 attack, you know, you're probably going to do multiple wounds per hit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
since most things are 9s or 10s.
Yeah, correct. So here we go in the next round. The you can see the archers in the field have failed their check, and they're still disrupted.
Okay.
The mage, on the other hand, has rallied, got his off. And I'm not sure. Skeletons are coming forward. Orcs up on the hill are going forward. The other guys are just holding. I'm just kind of holding around this site. He's again raised another Revenant Knight, so he's up to 5 now.
Okay.
Which is, you know, kind of annoying as other games where they just come every time you kill one, they just grow back.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind so much the 1.
He was growing spots here and there with skeletons coming back. Not a huge deal, but
a lot of dice. I have no idea what's going on.
They were coming back. Yeah, there's a lot of dice out there. And moving forward up in this turn, not a lot. I think this is just the beginning of the turn. Not a lot's happened at this point. Yeah, the orcs, the bowmen have turned a bit. And not that they can do much.
Ghouls have re-entered the woods.
These ghouls have come forward because they're taunting me because I didn't kill them all, and he can still come and cover that token over on the right. So go back in here, and I did rally. I managed to activate and rally this unit of orcs here in the center with my captain in it.
So you pivoted.
And they pivoted to get both units in my front.
Right.
My mage has cast the Poison Cloud and dropped 2 of his Revenant Knights again, which will be back in a minute, I'm sure. Over here, his Wraith charged again into my Wolf Riders. And you don't see it, but over on the left, he's removed the Wolf Riders. They got wiped.
Did you attack him or he attacked you with all these casualties?
He attacked me and pushed me back. Yeah. And it was just a bad die roll. Bad die rolls.
I think you both, then you like tie or something.
Maybe we did. I don't know how I would have lost 6 and tied.
Because he's got all his
he's lost 6 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. I think it was a charge, and we both did 6 to each, and pushed each other apart. And no disruption was had.
Okay.
And that unit on the right, what is that one? Oh, that's just the skeletons over there. Again, he grows another Revenant back, and he's up to 4 again, which is, again, just what you deal with them.
Yeah.
This was an odd move, so I took a couple pictures of it. So the unit here on the left beside the building wants to charge that unit of skeletons right there, right up to the front right of them. According to the rules, if I can charge and hit them, then we shuffle my other unit on the right, the unit with the prince in it that's, not the prince, the captain.
You're in their front arc?
I'm in the front arc of that unit of skeletons.
So you have to make contact with their front center point?
Correct. That's how it needs to end up.
Right.
But if I can contact them in the front, then I'm supposed to shift to the right, and this unit here, that's the other unit of orcs,
will be in the way, so it has to
be in the way. So it has to push directly backwards until it's an inch away from everything.
Yeah.
Is the way we read the rule.
Yeah, that's how it seems to be how it's written.
And I'd like to know if, again, somebody knows anything different, I'd be glad to hear it. So what this ended up being is I came forward, contacted them, and this unit gets shoved all the way back to here.
Because it'll stay an inch away.
Correct. which had the odd situation of kind of protecting me from the
Revenants.
from the Revenant Knights. But I think, I don't remember if he could still pivot and get to me or not.
No.
So anyway, so that happened there. I won that combat and pushed him back 6. Just to shove him back. My idea was to shove him back into the Necromancers and start pushing him back away from the
You won it handily, it looks
marker.
like.
I won that one handily.
Yeah.
Orcs are better than goblins. I mean, orcs are better than skeletons,
Yeah.
and therefore should do better. The 6-6 we had in the other combat was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So anyway, so we pushed him back. Of course, I casted a shift spell, I believe, with the goblin to get him turned around and facing the Revenant Knights.
Right, because they haven't activated yet.
And I'm sure they're coming in. I think after I beat that unit of skeletons, rather than charge me with 4, if I remember correctly, he held off a turn and raised another one.
Why would he do that?
Well, I think
They have 2 attacks each.
Not realizing you have 2 attacks each. Not realizing I could shift them, I guess, maybe, or not thinking about that. I think he would have been better served to go in it with 4 on the flank than 5 up front. But one way or another. So he's there. You can see those guys coming around, and he came and smacked me again. He's pushed me back and disrupted me.
Doesn't seem like it went very well.
The green dice is the disruption. Is what I'm marking.
I'm looking at the missing cavalry.
Yeah, I actually did 3 of them. I killed 3, which is kind of amazing. Off to the right, you can see the dragon on my turn, has come forward.
They're like 13s, right?
I think they are. Yeah. But I had a pretty solid unit, my 2 strength. So, and again, I need, the unit on the left all of a sudden is disrupted, which is the green one on the back of it.
Right.
Which, again, I'm not sure they needed to check. But, I've just forgotten. I'll have to look that up at some point. Moving on. The archers in the field finally shook off their, whatever it is, disorder. The dragons move forward. And we're going to go to turn 5.
Okay, this is 8-turn game?
We did an 8-turn game. So here in the center, guys on the hill have come down and slammed me on the side, which, as far as everything we've read, my champion does not get to fight because he's in the center.
Right.
Anyway, the way we played it. And because of that, he slapped me and I was disordered and he wiped me out. So, since I was already disordered, he hit me and won the combat.
Right.
I failed my morale
and
and
went away.
Your second
morale check, and that's when you're disordered and you fail a morale check, you run away.
You go away.
No matter what you lose.
Disappear.
Right.
Luckily, he didn't disorder anybody else. The dragon has moved. The dragon ran into the remaining knights and wiped them out.
Ate them? Okay.
Ate them. The unit of spears has taken their turn and pivoted to face the center. So he's facing the 3 units of skeletons, which, ain't great odds, but it's what I got. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your archers can outfight those skeletons.
With the fight 0?
Yep.
The skeletons at least are 1s, I think.
Yeah, but you got enough ranks and they're all...
I got a lot of them, and his are beat up.
all beat up.
That's a good point. Maybe so. You can see the Wraith over there on the far left, finally.
Ah, yes.
He
munched the Wolf Riders.
He munched the Wolf Riders, and there he is, coming back into the center of the board. And there we go. And that's going to be it looks like the end of the turn.
Did some kind of weird move thing.
I don't know what happened here. I think I pushed 1 unit back, maybe. I think I won a combat. I think I won. He charged me with the unit on the right, the unit in the front of the 2 stacked.
Yeah.
He charged me, lined up on me, and I pushed him back 6 and moved his other unit back.
He lost and you pushed him all the way back.
Right.
Because you have the option of either falling back or pushing your opponent back 1 or 6 inches.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when I first read it, I thought it was 1 to 6 inches.
Mhm.
It turns out it's 1 or 6 inches,
Mhm.
which is fine as long as you just kind of keep that in mind. And there we go. Moving on to turn 6.
Mhm.
Turn 6, the dragon used its movement spell, and you can see everything's blurry around him because he's moving so fast. He, I can't remember if he was able to charge or not. Let's see if he, yeah, he charged.
I guess he did.
I couldn't know. I didn't know if he charged or just sat in front of him. I couldn't
So you
remember.
hit it, and then you have to cinch up. So you cinched
So
up.
I cinched up to him, evaporated him, and now I'm just sitting there.
Okay.
Moving forward. So the dragon just munched another unit. And so the dragon actually has counted for 3 of his units and most of another one.
Mm-hmm.
So the dragon now is facing there. His wraith's over there. What's going on? Can't tell. Oh, the 2 rounds of shooting from the orc archers have eliminated the
Well,
ghouls.
so you turned to face because you were facing the other way before.
Yeah. Last turn they turned to face and fired and killed 1. This turn they fired and killed the other 2.
Okay.
I didn't get a picture of the other one, but
Mm-hmm.
they've eliminated the ghouls. And you can see his skeletons moving forward past the dragon. And with his wraith leading the way. His wraith.
And now you're sending everything towards the skeletons.
Correct. Because that's all that's left.
Yep.
And his wraith is sitting out there. And then you can see his necromancer is just splitting up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to turn 7, which is the second to last turn. That's what it looks like. He charged into... What happened? The unit on the right has been shot up. I think he must have fireballed me. And he's put 2 wounds on the dragon from something.
We're having some technical difficulties. I believe the wraith charged your guys, didn't it?
Oh, there's the wraith in there.
Yeah.
The wraith, yes, correct.
And killed a whole bunch.
The wraith had charged my guys and killed a bunch. Didn't take anything in the back. The dragon charged the wraith.
Right.
In the rear, as you see there, and I think he's got 4 wounds, and I think I put 3 on it.
Okay.
And he backs up a bit, so he's right there. Or maybe I put 2 on him, and he took a third from the extra. What you can't see here is in front of the orcs that's killed those 2 is one of his necromancers who charged into my 5 orcs.
Yep.
And put 2 wounds on me. I fought back, and I think only did 1 to him.
Okay.
So, ain't great. So he beat up on those, pushed me back. Or did I kill him at the same time? No, he was left standing there, and then my mage zapped him.
Zapped him. Okay.
Zapped him off. Him being the closest. Poison Cloud doesn't have to be the closest target, but he was at the same time. So moving forward, we go there. His beat up skeletons on the left have charged into my orcs again. My orc warriors, that should easily be a win. You can see I pushed him back 6. I won the combat and pushed him back 6. Dragon sitting there behind the wounded wraith. And my 3 remaining guys, you can see, are disrupted. Okay. But they are hanging in there.
Yep.
They're still there. And moving forward, what do we got? That should be it.
Looks like he's moving his mages around.
Yep. Then we go to the final turn. Final turn, the dragon charged into the wraith again.
Did he fireball? He put a wound on
him. And dropped it. And he's been fireballing me at this point, just looking for the 10s and the
right
to put the wounds, just to wound me a little bit. Dragon charged in and killed him. You can see his necromancer up top has come forward, and the rest of the turn goes his it's another necromancer up there, up in front of the orcs that have charged him and got bounced back a little bit. He killed 3. and we move forward. And everyone's just moving forward to get up within range of that token at the end of the game. And I think this is where then this is where it ended. With the archers on the right have stayed where they are because they're within 6 of the other token. Even though we don't know what it does for victory conditions, they thought it necessary to stay and take it. And then that's where the game is going to. I think there's one more picture after this, but this is pretty much where the game ends up. Yep. So everyone's crowded around the token. Ends up being a major orc victory. I've got both the tokens under my control.
Right.
No matter how you kind of define it, so whatever bonus that gives me. And he's down to,
So he's got half skeleton and like 3 mages left.
3 of his necromancers floating around.
And you've got
I've got my captain,
2 really shot up units, and 1 full strength
archer.
I still have a and your dragon, and all your characters.
All my characters are still alive. So yeah, the dragon, the end thing of the combat. I think the undead are fine from this one game I've played them.
How'd you think? I mean, just overall, as far as mechanics, how'd you think they played? Did they have a flavor to them, in your opinion?
They definitely did. They've got the low activation, which really helps just them activate. When I say low, it's 4, but that's 2 under me, so that seems really good.
But less dice.
What's that?
But less dice to roll.
If they're the unthinking, they only roll a single die.
Which is all skeletons.
Which is skeletons, but the skeletons stick around the guy with command, and now they're rolling 2 dice, so it's not horrible. So I thought that was nice. And I kind of like the thing that the skeletons are resistant to shooting of arrows, not to rock,
Right. Catapults.
They're resistant to that, which is good. I kind of like the way the mechanic works as far as them taking the couple extra wounds here and there. It's not a lot unless it's something massive, like a dragon hits you and does 12 wounds to you, and then racks up a ton extra. I actually kind of like the shadow form rule, which is the one where unless you have magic items, you only get to roll 2 dice against them.
Right. Instead of 5.
Yes. So I like a lot of the things. I think the raised skeleton is a little weak, but fine. It's what it is. It only casts on a 4 anyway, so it's not like you're, expending a lot for it. And like you pointed out, if you happen to roll a couple 10s, you can get another guy or 2 back.
Yeah.
The raised revenant, of course, is on the other end of the scale, very good, where you're bringing back a 70-point model for a roll of a 7.
If it's a cavalry guy, yeah.
Yeah, if it's a cav guy, which I don't know that I would concentrate on those spells if I wasn't using expensive cav.
Right.
But even the Revenant Warriors, I think, might be like 20, so I think that could pay for itself fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a level 7 spell, on the other hand, which means you need a level 3 guy to
have a decent chance.
Reliably, I won't say reliably, but have a good chance of getting it off every turn. When you got 40% per die, you've got more than a 50% chance of getting it off.
But you definitely felt that his army played differently than yours did.
It definitely plays different than mine does. Yes, I agree with that completely.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the important thing with these rules, because looking at the different stat lines, you go, oh, it's very generic.
It is.
But when you actually get them on the table, do they feel different?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the undead did feel different than my army. I've only played this army. I keep meaning to bring out another army.
But you've played against humans now, elves, and undead. You just haven't played against dwarves.
Elves and undead, correct.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's given me a good feel for what I can see. And all 3 of those armies I played against did feel different.
Yeah.
Facing them. I mean, I played against your humans, and that was, an army with just slightly better leadership than me.
Right.
The elves I played against was definitely the elite army. Playing against that. Anyway. So, yeah. Anyway. Another game down. I have another game I enjoyed.
Okay.
And that's it.
So not bored of them yet.
Still not bored of it. So, and 3 games in. So hopefully it will continue.
All right.
Because 3 games isn't very much.
No.
All right. So that's going to do it. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.